The three most important things for women over 40 when you are trying to lose body fat. So I love working with women in this age group because I can so identify with your struggles when it comes to losing body fat. So I get asked the question often, what should I be focusing on? I'm dieting, I'm working super hard in the gym, and for the last year or two, I've just haven't seen any changes in my body composition, any changes in my weight. So, three of the most important things to focus on. Number one, protein. Make sure you're getting enough protein. Protein is super important because, first of all, protein helps you to maintain and build more lean muscle tissue. Lean muscle tissue is so important, especially for us women 40 and up, because actually after the age of 30, I'm not sure if you know this or not, but after the age of 30, every year we lose a small percentage of our lean muscle tissue. So unless we're doing something to combat that and build new lean muscle tissue, each year our muscle tone is going to be less and less and less. No bueno, that's not good. The other reason is because protein actually keeps you satisfied or satiated much longer than any other food. It takes your body a lot longer to digest protein than it does other foods. So how much protein should you be getting per day? At the very minimum, would be 0.6 grams per pound. So if you are a 120-pound woman, the minimum amount of protein that you should be taking in would be about 85 grams. And that number would differ and vary depending on what you're trying to achieve with your body composition, whether it be fat loss or maintenance or building new muscle. So your protein foods, basically they are your lean meats, eggs, dairy, yogurt, poultry, fish. Protein would be anything that was or comes from something that was living or had a heartbeat. Those would be your protein foods. So protein, first and foremost, the most important macronutrient as far as I'm concerned for us to get the correct amount of. Okay, so protein is the first. Number two, carbohydrates. Well, Lucinda, haven't you heard that carbs make you fat? Absolutely, I have heard that. I was at one point, for a couple years actually, doing a very low carb diet. And I know what that's like. And yes, I did lose weight, but got to a plateau and just could not get through that plateau. The type of low carb diet that I went on was a paleo type of diet. That was kind of the fad at that time and in my industry. And it worked, but I also found that I didn't have that much energy. I also found, which was the hardest thing for me, and maybe some of you that are doing a low carb diet find this, I could be super good during the week, nail it every day, 5 days a week, Monday through Friday. Then the weekend would come and I would go out to dinner, I'd have the drinks, and Monday would roll around, and because I had eliminated basically a whole food group of grains, Monday would roll around and I'd be super bloated, and it would take me till like Wednesday to actually be feeling normal again and for all of that bloating to go down. So carbohydrates, Reason why they are so important for you is number one, they give you energy. So if you're doing any kind of physical, high intensity interval training, CrossFit, weight training, that's where your body gets your energy from is carbs. So it's super important that you're taking in enough carbs and then also replenishing the glycogen that your muscles are depleted of after your workouts. So carbohydrates are really, really important. Another thing, which I think is super cool, carbohydrates actually fill your muscles with water. So when you are in a deficit and losing body fat, they give your muscles that nice toned look. Super cool. Love that. So carbohydrates, foods that are carbohydrates would be all of your vegetables, all of your fruits. Super, super important to eat those. There's so many macronutrients, micronutrients in fruits and vegetables. So you need to have a lot of that. Also your grains, those would be carbs. Rice, your breads, things like that. How much carbohydrate should you be taking in per day? If you are looking to lose body fat, probably about 25 to 30% of your energy intake per day should be carbohydrate. So carbs were number two. Number three, and this is actually two things, but I group them together because I think they kind of go together hand in hand. So exercise and recovery, super, super important. Exercise, and right now I'm just going to focus on resistance training. So for us over 40 women, resistance training is super, super important. Number one, because remember that we lose some muscle mass each year. We need to be doing resistance training in order to help to build new muscle, as well as getting in that right amount of protein. So resistance training and recovery. So resistance training, basically what you're doing is you are breaking down your muscle tissue and causing little micro tears. And this is all fine. This is the process. That's the way it happens. It's the way it happens to build new muscle tissue. You're breaking down your muscle, little micro tears. But on your recovery days, that's the day or days during your week where your body actually gets to repair itself and build that new lean muscle tissue. So if you're not getting enough recovery time or rest time, your body is not going to build that new muscle tissue. So you could be knocking yourself out in the gym 6 days a week, 7 days a week, and not seeing any results. It might be because you're not letting yourself recover enough. You're not giving yourself enough time to build that new muscle tissue. You're just constantly breaking it down, breaking it down, breaking it down. Your body needs that rest and recovery. And actually, 40 and up, your joints are another concern. We need more rest and recovery than we did when we were in our 20s and in our 30s. 40s, it takes you a little longer to recuperate. Did you ever notice that you're sore a little bit longer than you used to be when you were in your 30s? It takes you a little bit longer to recover. So you only have one body. You need to take care of it, right? So those are the three things: protein, carbohydrates, exercise or resistance training, and recovery. Three of the most important things that are definites for us women 40 and up trying to lose body fat. So if you liked this video and it taught you something and you'd like to see more like this, please give me a like, hit the like button. It would be greatly appreciated, and we will talk again soon. Have a great Thursday.